So tier 3 left for Duke Ravenguard, tier 3 left for BBEG. Now we need to just go through Ezmerelda's stuff. I want to do this one first. Kind of want to do them in reverse order because they'll go faster. I don't know that it would get enough use. Like, I don't know that some kind of a cleanse mechanic would get enough use. Why use Minsk? Because he's a speed champion. He is. It causes extra enemies to spawn on occasion. So there's no one else here that would speed up the group. He might a little bit, so I'll take whatever I can get. You don't have like the ability to put a full party of, you know, super nice speed champions in. Use whatever you got. What I got is Minsk. Minsk and Boo. Hey, in-game pop-up. Oh, let's go. Now we're in army. Is that the command for Centipede? I don't think we have any centipedes, but we do have codes. Alright, what do we get from that? Come on, give me that epic flaming fist. No, I got a dupe for it. Yeah, great. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. But we'll take it. But we'll take it. You know, we're cooking with propane. What feat did we get for her? Oh, why was that not in there? That's weird. Yeah, my favorite foes one. Hey, Keen. Welcome. Welcome to the game. Might be able to get Olcoria now. Right. I mean, the key for Olcoria. I mean, obviously, it's obviously, do you have enough power to get to the last boss? And then the last boss is just hold on to your ultimates until if the tongues actually come out, because sometimes it bugs and they don't. Hold on, you know, and pop like one multi-hit ultimate to try to get rid of the first, to try to drop the first champion. Because they come out and they latch onto a champion, they pick it up, and as they're coming back, they become attackable. And you want to get it to drop the champion right away, because you don't want to lose any other champions. So as long as you do that, don't worry about the boss will die on its own. Just keep the tongues, keep smacking them tongues. Just a phrase I didn't think I'd ever say, but welcome to Idle Champions. Yeah, a lot of times the Neothelid, that's the boss, will bug out. It'll pick you up. It'll pick someone up early on, and then you'll kill it, and then the rest of the run, it just won't even try picking people up anymore. Which is easy mode. At that point, it shouldn't be an issue. But definitely don't burn your ultimates on the boss that comes out before and then gets swallowed by the Neothelium. Watch some of your guides. Should focus on the event or getting dreads? Focus on the event. I mean, you can kind of do both, but focus on the event. And like as a brand new player, you're just gonna pretty much do tier 1. That's the initial 3 variants. If you're brand new, that's all you should really do. And once you get tier 1 done for Duke and Ezmerelda, then you can flex a champion, get their tier 1 done, and then you'll have time between now and Wednesday, where you don't need to do event stuff. You can go work towards Dritz. Right? You kind of go back and forth. It's like right now I'm trying to finish up Ezmerelda's stuff, and then I'm going to stop there for a while. I'm going to go back to do other stuff. Leaf blower. Audio software that should be pulling the leaf blower out so you don't hear it, but it's so bad. Sergeant Budkinson, do you need a full party of 10 for Okoria? You should. If you do it with less, then you had way more power than you needed going in. I kind of thought Esmeralda would get a stacking bonus based on Strahd variants. She doesn't like Strahd, so I don't know that thematically that would be a great idea. I think Karlach and Zariel work in this game because this version of Zariel is redeemed. And I think Karlach and redeemed Zariel would probably get along. We're hoping to figure out what option to choose when your heroes level up. It's one of those things you just kind of got to learn champion by champion. When you're new, take your time and learn one champion at a time. And yeah. Where can I use the code? You click on the chest thing here, and then this is the cryptex. Click on that. You copy paste the code in here. Winter Savior, can you max out patron perks? No, not currently. Yeah. They with the last time they updated patron perks, they added like what 11. They added more tiers, and there's like 11 tiers now. Yeah. You can get close if you do everything in the game, but what they did is they planned for the future because they're constantly releasing new content. So as more content comes out, eventually you'll be able to max them out. But for now, they wanted to give people something to work on. Hey, Max Sabian. Yeah, how code is on the CNE channel. A couple weeks ago, I asked for tips on Dragon Bait. I went and watched your VOD and realized health potions are pretty useful. Yeah, they can be. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, health is the big deal there, and then preventing damage with like shields. So. Their website or something where I can simulate the best beginner formation? Nope. Not actually simulate, no. No one's built anything that intensive. I don't think. I know there's a website out there where you can kind of place the champions, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think anybody's built anything out of game for that. Moanula, it's because then you could go in and and build out formations with champions you don't own yet and gear and stuff. Like somebody could go in and like on an external website you could simulate pretty much the full thing, but whereas in a game you can't always. But yeah, nobody's done anything. I don't think anybody's done anything remotely close to that. You're basically simulating the game at that point, and I don't know if people done that. But you can. There's places where you can share formations and your champions and stuff like that. I don't use any of those, but they exist. Shouldn't you don't know if you should use Hitch or Raven Guard? I mean, it depends on who your DPS is. Raven Guard, Duke Raven Guard is for melee DPS champions. So if you're not running a melee DPS, like if you're like early on, your melee DPS that like a brand new player would run would be Jarlaxle. If you're using Ashara, then Duke Raven Guard isn't. He's not buffing. He wouldn't be buffing Ashara. So that just comes with like reading the champion, like read the information on the champion so you know how they're buffing. When you're building your formation. And yeah, I've got a guide for new players. It's been recently revamped, so it works better in the Event 2.0 system. And then now there's a link to all of my guides. There's over 170 guides to the game over on the Idle Champions subreddit. But I keep somewhat updated. It may be missing some feats or something, but if they've released feats recently. But you just kind of got to take it just step by step, learn one champion at a time, learn one system at a time, and slowly build your knowledge so that you can build formations. It's way better to build your own formation than it is to just copy paste somebody else's. I just started Trials of Mount Tiamat. Is there a guide or way I can figure out what tier I should be in? I mean, you start in normal. So easy to complete it. I'm thinking huge ways. Oh, it's not. No, it's so there's 10 tiers of Trials of Mount Tiamat. That's this. I'm trying to do a trial right now. There's 10 tiers of that, and sorry, I got distracted by the achievement. You can't just jump up tiers willy-nilly. You have to work your way. You have to climb the ladder. So you start at the lowest rung. You start on normal, which is tier 1, and then you have to beat that to go to heroic. I think heroic is tier 2, and so on and so forth. So you have to do each one each week and work your way up the ladder. So whatever you can do, go do. Whatever the next highest tier is, then go do that. At some point, though, like if you are you'll get to a point where you'll try to do something and you just won't even be able to really contribute, and your team might carry you, but that's when you know, oh, I'm now somewhere that I need to get more power before I keep moving up, because it's not cool to just ride someone else's coattails all the way up the tier system, right? You need to be able to contribute. So yeah, it's bit by bit. It's a learning process. I do have a segment in my guide in that new player guide that talks about that phase now. Ramopker, there are no drops for this game. There was one. There were two in its entire history, and they've never done it again. But like early on, you're not wasting scales because you're not spending scales. You're spending vials, but like normal is free, and then the next one is 1 vial, and so it's fine. But then you earn the scales, and then you put the scales on on, you turn those into legendaries on champions. Now you can waste those. You want to focus those on whatever your group is that you're. It can only go on epics, as you can see here. I can't legendary everybody. Put them on your champions you're using to push through trials. God dang it, that bug. Because then you're taking the power you're earning and you're putting it back into the system so that you can go further. Someone in our group did 0 DPS. No, you just got to ignore that. Like, you can't affect what other people do. Just go in and do your best. Make sure you're contributing and move on. Zerbius, what do you do when you're sitting with most available missions you can run as deadly? You do a deep favor run. That's the difficulty system is entirely based off how much favor you have in a campaign. So that's telling you you don't really have a lot of favor. You might be able to do them because the difficulty system is very much the sign in an amusement park that says you must be this tall to ride this ride. It's a safety system. It's telling you that if it's deadly, you might have a no good, very bad day. Or you might not, right? But it's just based off favor. So if it's not all green, which is for the early campaigns, they go green. Later as they only get to yellow for silly code reasons. You just need to do a deep push in that campaign, which means push as far as you possibly can. Figure out what your best possible pushing formation is and get as much favor on that run as you can. And then that's going to change all the difficulty ratings. Oh, so this is a different. So now I'm reading further. I jumped around different stories doing the easier stuff that I can. And now the only things that they say are easier from the current event to tier 2. Once I hit stage 200 out of 250, I get demolished. That's because just like with an amusement park, just because you can get on the ride doesn't mean you're going to enjoy it. Doesn't mean you're going to enjoy it. Variants like this one, the Devil You Know, have restrictions. So along with being an area goal, there's this text box, and you have to read it, and you have to comprehend the restriction and figure out, can I do this with this restriction? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes favor is going to help you, but at a certain point it won't. At a certain point you need more power on your champions, or you're going to need a Modron core or perks from your patrons, right? Like there's this concept of account power. Favor is just one aspect of it. So it sounds like if it's showing as easy, then it thinks you've got enough favor. But that doesn't mean you have enough power to do it. So if you're like a brand new player, tier 1 is going to be really all you can complete. Tier 2 is for like an early game player that's going to have, blues, maybe some greens, blues, a couple purples. They might not have a Modron core. If you can get favor in the E15 to E25 range, you might be able to finish tier 2. Tier 3, I've got a good solid chunk of power in this count. I can't complete tier 3. I think I can do the first variant. I might be able to do the second one. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to try tier 3 next. No, in the last week of the event, I'll try tier 3 on this account. I want to get as much power as I can before then, because I've never really attempted tier 3. So the tiers are basically permanent progression, kind of high water marks. How far can you go? Early on, it's not going to be super far. Get off there. Flagger, welcome to the game. I've chosen BBG, yes, but when I take potions, the homebrew skill doesn't seem to work. Because when you take a potion, no increase in DPS is shown. So what that tells me is you're looking up here at like base DPS or running average, and you're not looking down here where it shows my Minsk and the damage my Minsk is actually doing. So do I need to do something else? Yeah, you need to stop looking at that, at whatever's under their feet or whatever's listed up here, and only look here. Those other numbers are all lies. Base DPS is a lie. Running average is a liar, but it's not as big of a lie as base DPS. This is your bud. This is literally that hit 7.11 E144. That's the biggest hit Minsk has done recently. It tells you when. It was 1 minute and 47 seconds ago. It divides that by his attack speed, and it gives you your actual DPS. This is how you can actually tell what your formation is doing. Are you improving? And it's better to be checked nearer your wall. And when you first start out, just throw people in and then get further in until you're having trouble killing things, and then make adjustments and check. You check here. Combination of your bud and what area you're able to complete is going to tell you how good your formation is. So yeah, just stop looking at base DPS or even the number under their feet. They're all wrong. They're all wrong. I hate to tell you that. I know it seems frustrating. We've given this feedback to the devs, and they're just like, well, but it's and it's like, stop. They're all bad. It's all bad. Stop it. Reason I just copied and pasted the code you listed in chat. The game says I already redeemed it. How's that possible when you just posted it? I didn't just post it. It was posted 2 hours and 20 minutes ago when I started this stream, so you may have gotten it either out of the combinations channel in the Discord or from a website that already pulled it. Just because the game told you I'm streaming, that doesn't mean I just